Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of the Google Hangout with Fran Tarkenton. My name is Ed Fox, Billy the Kid. The other person on the screen is clearly Fran Tarkenton, the man, the myth himself. As you all may know, we have been off air for a few months, but I can assure you we've been planning some great events coming up. We're getting back into the swing of things, football season. So stick with us. We're going to be having some great hangouts, some great discussions, some great events coming up. Anyway, today we wanted to talk about Fran's recent experience at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And Fran, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what it was like? And
thank you, Billy the Kid. I'm going to talk about that, and welcome back, everybody. And for the rest of this year, I know you love football. I love college football, pro football. So we're going to talk some football because the lessons that come out of football are lessons of business. The lessons that I learned in playing 26 years of football. You say 26? Yeah, 4 years of high school varsity, 4 years of college at the University of Georgia, 18 years in pro football, and everything that I had to do to end up being a Hall of Fame player and have the success I had in football are the same principles of starting and running your own business. They're really not different. And I'm going to start with talking about a couple of weeks ago, we had the Hall of Fame we were inducting 6 new members of the National Football League Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. I went into the Hall of Fame in 1986. I had not been back since then. That's about, 27 years or so. The reason I went back is that my center of most of my career, my roommate and my best friend, Mick Tingelhoff, was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He had waited 37 years to get there. And he was quite a player. He was a free agent. He wasn't drafted. He played out of Nebraska. He's a country boy, farm boy, German parents who were tough. And he says they were mean. And when he got a scholarship to the University of Nebraska, they didn't like it. They didn't want him to stay there and work on the farm. But he was a great, great player. And he's suffering from memory loss now. He really knows at the time what's going on, but later on he doesn't know what's going on. And so I went back, and it's changed so much in Canton. 750,000 visitors came there to Canton, Ohio, to celebrate the induction of the Hall of Fame members and see the other Hall of Fame guys that came to the event. On that Saturday, we had 140 living Hall of Fame members. The next day, Frank Gifford died, so we now have 139. 100 of the living Hall of Fame members were at the Hall of Fame. And as I said, 750,000 people were there. And we had all the legends: Mean Joe Green, Lynn Swann, Franco Harris. Those are the Steeler guys. Then we had Bob Lilly, the great defensive tackle from the Dallas Cowboys. And we had Jerry Rice was there, and LT, Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson, the other great linebacker that played in the same era with LT. Ronnie Lott, San Francisco 49ers. What a player Ronnie Lott was. And all these people gathered. But also out there in the audience was Lou Holtz, the great coach of Notre Dame. Peyton Manning left training camp to come to see his old general manager inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Brett Favre was there. And Brett Favre will go into the Hall of Fame this next year for sure. We had the ceremony was out at the football stadium in Canton, where they played the exhibition game the next day. They seat 23,000, 24,000 people, but they had another 5,000 seats on the playing field itself. So you had close to 30,000 people there. 75% of them were Steeler fans because it's close to Pittsburgh, and they were playing a game against my Vikings the next day. I had the greatest experience that I can remember having. I talk a lot about culture of business, and I've talked to you about if you have in a football team, if you have 40 all-pro players, but you have a toxic culture, you're not going to win. You win if you have a culture of love and respect and caring, and that's what we do in business if you're going to be successful. And the culture of the Hall of Fame guys is just that. No egos, but great caring about one another. And it was a great chance to visit with these iconic figures of pro football. I was going to have to speak for Mick Tingelhoff, and because he wasn't able to speak for himself, I asked him before, would you just like to say thank you? I might do that, he said. So we were backstage, and they had the video and that they pre-recorded of me talking about Mick and other people talking about Mick. And he was not really lucid and understood what was going on. So I brought him out after the video, and we unveiled his bust and to the world and to the TV audiences and to the people there. And on the way from there to the podium, I asked him one more time, would you like to say thank you? And he said he was scared. No, no, no. You talk, you talk, you talk. Well, I really didn't have anything prepared. I just knew I was going to be brief. It wasn't going to take much time. And I think I took 1 minute 41 seconds. And I got up, faced the people, and I said that Mick Tingelhoff is a man of few words, but he is all about action. And I started into talking about it. It took him 37 years to get into the Hall of Fame, and I kind of broke up. I didn't think I would, but I did. I felt all this emotion. And all of a sudden, the 30,000 people out there started applauding. 30 seconds, standing up, respecting the bond between two players. And I was moved by it all, but they saved my life, because after 30 seconds, I could speak again. And I just simply, talked about thanking all the Viking fans from all over for being there, thanking Bud Grant for being there. And then I look at those mostly Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and I said, and I remember you Steelers fans, you beating us in that Super Bowl in New Orleans back in the 70s. And the place went crazy again. But as I'm coming off the stage with Mick was beaming. He understood something special was going on. All those Hall of Fame guys, they were all crying. Came up on the stage and hugged Mick and hugged myself. Bud Grant, at 88 years old, was climbing up on the stage, bawling to let Mick know what he felt. To see the response, the emotional response of the fans, the emotional response of these iconic players and how they felt, and was unbelievable. And it just was a moving, touched all of our hearts. And Billy the Kid, it might be for our people, some way we could get to them. If you'd like to see it, we've got the clips. We can send you to some place where you can see that 2-minute segment or 3 or 4 minute segment that it was when Mick was getting inducted, and I think you would enjoy it.
And yeah, we can. We'll get it up on the
Billy?
website today. Yes, sir.
Good. All right, we'll do that for you. And also, some of our guys got up there and they talked for 30, 35, 40 minutes, thanking the world, so it got a little boring. So I went backstage, some with Mick. He didn't want to sit out there. And I go backstage, and I knew Peyton was there, but Peyton came backstage. I haven't seen Peyton Manning since he was 12 years old. I know his dad, Archie, well, we talk every week. Peyton came back, and we had a terrific visit, maybe for an hour. Jim Kelly, who I'd never met, Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame player, great quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. And he's been battling cancer, as you may or may not know. It's been very well publicized. A year ago, he had about no chance to live. But he fought and he fought, and he beat it. He looks good. So we're backstage, and I said to Kelly, I said, Kelly, I said, you're my favorite player of all time. He says, favorite player of all time? Why? Why do you say that? I said, well, it's because you lost 4 Super Bowls, and I only lost 3. So he holds the record. So we had great visits like that together, it was so great. I had my wife Linda and my 4 children. My 7 grandchildren were there with me. They got to see all of this, and they had never been a part of this. They had never seen their grandpa or their father in this kind of environment, and so they got to see all this, and it was great. It was great for them. Uh, and I haven't been back for 27 years, and I should have gone back. And I am going back every year for the rest of my life, because to just be in that environment of the greatness of people that have accomplished the most ever in pro football, and see the culture that's there. If you ever doubt the power of culture in your life or in your business and whatever you're doing, it's there. But the culture of love, the culture of respect of these, again, iconic, big, tough, physical guys really trumps everything. I got to tell you a Joe Green story. I played against Joe Green as a rookie, when he was a rookie. I could see how great he was going to be. And I played against him in an exhibition game, and he destroyed us. And I didn't know who he was, but I knew who he was after that game. So later on in the season, and we're playing him in New York, and he's now telling my kids and my grandkids the story. Let me tell you a story about your grandpa. We were playing in Yankee Stadium, and I was chasing him all over the field, and he was running away from me, and I never did get him. But every time that I would miss and he'd get the pass off, he'd look at me and say, "Joe, you missed me. You can't catch me, Joe. You can't get near me." And I had a habit of doing that. and so he finally said, I got so angry, I just had to hit him. So he's running down the sideline, steps out of bounds, and I hit him. And I was so happy I finally got him. And you know what your grandpa did? He got up and said, looked at me and said, "Joe, look where we are. We're 5 yards out of bounds. They're going to kick you out of this game, Joe." And Joe said to my kids, and they did. And we had that type of dialogue, Billy the Kid, and it was great. And we had a lot of stories to share. And Mike Holmgren, the former great coach for the Green Bay Packers and later the Seattle Seahawks, he was there, and we visited. And Troy Aikman, who I never met, who was, of course, an iconic great quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he had 3 Super Bowl rings. It was there. It was just great. Eddie DiBartolo, the great owner of the San Francisco 49ers, and he has introduced 5 Hall of Famers at their induction ceremony, and you get to choose anybody you want. He was really terrific, and so it was just story after story after story after story, and take advantage of Billy the Kid will tell you how to get some of the film of that, because I think it'll be very meaningful to you, and you get something out of it. And for the rest of this season, what we're going to do, we're going to talk a lot of football. I'll give you my take on things that are going on, and then how that really relates to what you're doing in the business world. And the message that comes out of this is build a culture of love in your life, in your business, with your friends, with your home, because that's what it's all about. It's about having each other's back and treating everybody with respect.
Well, Fran, that's great advice. And to throw you a little bit of a curveball, I've seen you give a lot of speeches. I've seen you give speeches in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And for the business owners out there, I know that they're not giving speeches in front of crowds like that, but they might be in front of large groups of people in webinars, or even just to their employees.
Sure.
Do you handle yourself differently? Do you prepare differently?
No.
Is there any advice you can give to them for anything like that? Is it the same? Is it?
Well, I think this: only make talks about things you know something about. People have asked me at times to make a speech and give me the subject matter, and I'm told them I'm not. I don't have much experience in that. I cannot talk about that. And if you're and be yourself. I think everybody likes leaders, friends, to be yourself. If you're going to make a speech, make sure it's a subject you know something about, and then go up and be natural and be yourself. Because if you in that little 1 minute and 41 seconds I had on stage, I really prepared nothing, but I know something about Mick Tingelhoff, and I know something about the football that we played, and I spoke from my heart. I didn't speak from notes. I never speak from notes. People want to see how you express how you really feel, how you really think. And most of our politicians, most of sports guys today, they're all programmed. And you'll see the players today, they'll say, well, what do you think about this? Well, I'm just trying to get better every day. I just want to be a better teammate. I'm trying to. That's nice things to say, but they've all been programmed. Somebody's told them what to say. People don't want that. You don't want that. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel. What's important to you? And maybe if you share that with me, I can learn something. I cannot learn things from scripts. I can learn it from somebody speaking from their heart and soul about their experience. And when I hear that, it resonates, and I learn something from it, Billy.
Fantastic. Well, Fran, I'm not much of a sports fan, unfortunately, and I work in this office with you, but I hear that there's a new NFL season coming up.
It is, and we're right around the corner, and we'll have these hangouts, and we'll talk a lot of football, and we'll talk and we'll follow it along. And there's 8,000 stories, and I'll give you the inside of what's going on in the NFL and college football, and it'll be a lot of fun, interesting stories, and I'll look forward to doing that.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks, Fran, and thanks everybody for joining us. As promised, we're going to give away our free autograph picture today, and we chose Debbie Norris. So Debbie, we'll be sure to send you an email and get in contact with you and find out how to get that over to you. For those of you that might not be members of frantarkenton.com, feel free to go sign up, join, participate. There's a lot of good business things there. There's football stuff there, everything that Fran does, and you can tie in and connect with him there. And be sure to let us know. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong, and let us know what you want to hear and what we can do to help you to improve this. As Fran tells me all the time, people got to talk to people. So talk to us and let us know.
You got that, Billy the Kid.
All right. Thanks, Fran. Thanks, everybody.